lengthy, but bear with me if you would, please. So we hope that at the conclusion of this presentation, we'll have addressed any of the questions that you may have. However, if at the end of it you still have questions, those individuals named previously are here to attempt to answer those questions. Okay, so we've stated that we're here tonight to present an important project that will allow the residents of Robinson Township to recognize their legally derived wealth from their mineral estate. As you are all aware, natural gas compressor stations are essential to producing gas from the rich Marcellus shale in this area. Compressor stations serve vital functions in natural gas development, in addition to pulling gas from the wellhead and boosting pressure to transport gas to a processing plant. Compressor stations provide dehydration and collect natural gas condensate, a valuable product used to make everyday products such as gasoline and diesel fuel. This proposed project consists of one natural gas compressor station to be constructed in 2 phases. The compressor station will ultimately consist of 8 5-kilowatt electric drives and associated compressors. Also on the site will be electric switchgear, a substation, piping and tanks for produced water and natural gas condensate. It will be located on the east side of Quicksilver Road, north of the borough of Midway, south of Quicksilver Golf Course, and west of the yet-to-be-constructed Interstate Highway. In 2014 and 2015, Mark West legally acquired a substantial amount of real estate in Robinson Township. We purchased approximately 224 acres of land from a larger parcel owned by Imperial Land Corporation. The subdivision creating our lot was recorded on February 9, 2015. The subdivided parcel is zoned IBD in its entirety. We purchased the approximately 116-acre parcel formerly known as Sidus Ranch. We further purchased approximately 3.5 acres of land formerly known as Pangursis. The Sidus and Pangursis parcels span east and west of Quicksilver Road and are zoned a mixture of IBD and commercial on the east side of Quicksilver Road and R1A on the west side of Quicksilver Road. As this board is aware, pursuant to section 336 of the Robinson Township zoning ordinance, compressor stations are permitted use by right in the IBD zone and conditional use in the commercial zone.
And let me stop you there for a minute, Rob. The deeds and the information, the application materials are all referenced as part of Mark West's Exhibit 1 and also in the Township 2 deeds as well.
Right, and I think we have, sitting over here, we need to refer to it, the drawings, part of which is part of Exhibit 1 as well, right?
Right.
Okay. And just to be clear again, my recollection is that the first compressor station that was approved was in the IBD district, and this one here is mostly in the commercial district. Is that right? And that's why we're here on a conditional use.
That is correct.
Right. Okay.
I will actually touch on it, I guess. Absolutely. As this board knows, we've submitted 2 separate land development applications. In accordance with section 336 of the zoning ordinance, Mark West met with township officials prior to submitting the first of these land development applications. During that meeting, Mark West explained that we would be constructing 2 compressor stations. We explained that the first compressor station would be situated on the former Imperial Land parcel zoned IBD, and the second would be situated on the east side of the former Sidus parcel zoned IBD and commercial. Pursuant to section 336 of the Robinson Township zoning ordinance, compressor stations again are permitted use by right in IBD and conditional in commercial. We understand that there's some confusion regarding the naming of the compressor stations. Originally, Mark West had contemplated building a compressor station on the former Imperial Land parcel for range resources and a second compressor station on the former Sidus parcel for CNX. Accordingly, the range resources compressor station became known internally as the Imperial Compressor Station and the CNX compressor station as the Sidus compressor station.
And Rob, let me stop you there. This might be a good point. Matt, if you can show the board members the compressor station that was previously approved as whatever you're about tonight.
We're referring to the portion.
That's correct. This is a portion of Mark West's Exhibit.
you look at sheet C100 of your this located here is the formerly approved Cybus Ranch compressor station. That is what we're referring to as East Compressor Station. And before the board tonight is the West station, which is the Imperial Station. These are the two different.
All right. Pursuant to Title 25 of GA Code, Chapter 102, Mark West applied for an erosion and sedimentation control permit for ESCGB2 for each of the compressor stations. Consistent with the former land parcel names, the ESCGB2 permit applications identified the western pad as Cybus and the eastern pad as Imperial. Subsequent to the DEP permit submissions and prior to the Robinson Township permit land development applications, Mark West decided based on future pipeline location to construct a compressor station for CNX, known internally as the Cybus Compressor Station, on the Imperial parcel, and a compressor station for range, known internally as the Imperial Compressor Station, on the Cybus parcel. While the ESCGB2 permit applications were submitted based on the underlying land parcel names, the land development applications submitted to the township were based on the actual compressor names. We could not change the names on the already submitted DEP ESCGB2 applications, hence the discrepancy in name. On May 11, 2015, this board, acting on a unanimous recommendation from the Planning Commission, approved Mark West's application for the Cybus Compressor Station. The conditional use application before you supervisors tonight is the Imperial Compressor Station, listed on the ESCGB2 permit as the Cybus Compressor Station. We explained the nomenclature during the Planning Commission meetings on June 15th and July 20th, 2015. The Planning Commission has since recommended approval of this application, and your engineer has reviewed the application and will testify tonight recommending approval. You heard me previously state that we legally purchased property in Robinson Township for the legal purpose of constructing and operating compressor stations. If you will indulge me, I will demonstrate how we intend to comply with sections 301.3, 336, and 408 of the Robinson Township ordinance. Before we get started, it warrants mentioning that the items covered in section 408 are performance standards, meaning that demonstration of compliance is possible once a facility is constructed. It further warrants mentioning that while we will briefly touch on our air permit from the DEP, this township does not regulate air emissions. All right, section 301.3. A states, the use is permitted as a conditional use or special exception, as defined under the terms of this ordinance.
Just not to interrupt, but just so everybody's cool with me here. This section are sort of general overall standards for all conditional uses. And then 336, which you're going to get to next, are the specific conditions in the ordinance for this particular type of use.
That is correct. Okay. Our response is that, as stated in section 207 and 208 of the Robinson Township zoning ordinance, a compressor station is permitted as use by right in the IBD and a conditional use in the commercial zone. Letter B of section 301.3 states the specific criteria, if any, for the following use by conditional use or special exception, as applicable, will be met. Our response is the specific criteria for a natural gas compressor station are found in section 336 of the Robinson Township zoning ordinance. I'll divert from section 301 here to discuss the criteria relevant to compressor stations found in section 336. All right, I'm just going to read this verbatim. Natural gas compressor stations are permitted as a permitted use in the industrial I and interchange business development IBD zoning districts, and as a conditional use in commercial C rural residential, R1A, and agricultural, A, zoning districts. Our response is, this site is located in both the C and IBD zoning districts, and therefore is required to proceed through the conditional use process. The requirements for either a permitted use or conditional use under this section 336 are as follows. A, before filing an application, the applicant shall meet with representatives of the township to discuss the 1, proposed use, 2, site location, 3, the time frame for development, 4, traffic routes, 5, the condition of township roads as a part of said traffic route, and the potential need for advanced repairs or upgrades. 6, plans for potential excess maintenance of said traffic routes, and 7, traffic safety. Our response is, as stated previously, a meeting was held with the township to review the proposed site improvements. Coming back to 1, proposed use. The proposed use is a natural gas compressor station. Number 2, site location. The location.
Mr. McHale, I just want to.
Yes, sir.
Is there a better way to do this than to have you actually read I mean, this is a lengthy ordinance.
It is indeed.
We have a lot of review letters from our engineer who really reviewed all of these provisions, correct?
That's correct.
And we have the planning commission's recommendation. Is what you have in front of you written? Can you submit that?
I can submit it, yes, if you prefer.
I mean, I'm just, what
That's
you're gonna
fine.
do
For
is,
expediency is.
what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through, and again, I'm not sure the board is gonna, there's a lot of information, I'm not sure the board's gonna be making a decision tonight, but it could be submitted for the record. And you're gonna say that you've met each and every one of these criteria, is that right?
And that is
Which I
Sal's
think is-
point, that we have met each and every one of those criteria.
That's you're under oath, and that's gonna be your testimony,
Yes.
right? Okay. I mean, I'm not sure that we need to actually have you read that entire document. Can you submit it for the record? I mean, I'm not trying to bully you, I'm just,
We can, we will.
is that okay?
Mr. McHale, if you were to continue your testimony tonight, would it be set forth in the exhibit that we're going to mark as Mark West number 14 or 15?
The enumeration of all the points included in section 336 are included as an exhibit.
Okay. And does that document actually reflect the testimony you would give tonight?
It does?
And if you were to testify under oath here tonight, would you give testimony consistent with that document?
I would.
Let me mark that as Mark West exhibit number 15. Thank you.
Now, I will need this for a little bit more,
Oh, sure.
okay? Because if we bypass section 336, which, again, I would testify that we will comply with all the provisions of section 336, I would like to come back to section 301.3, if I may.